Welcome to my workshop. In this video, we are going to make a few Dreamcatchers in different styles. I will show you ways to make bases, weave and decorate them. Dreamcatchers make great room decor and amazing gifts. So let's start with the base. We need a circle. I offer you these 4 options. I'll start with this one from a willow twig. Find a long, thin and even twig. Remove all the leaves and bumps, and we're going to roll it. Work up the thicker end with your fingers a little and shape a ring. And just like that, wind the twig around itself. Important, before using this base, you will have to leave it to dry for at least a couple of days. Another option is to make the base from cardboard. Using 2 saucers of different size, I mark the ring and cut it out. If you too have thin cardboard, make a few layers and glue them together with the help of a glue gun. One more way is to buy a ready-made wooden base at an arts and crafts store. There you can also find a canvas wheel and use the inside ring. So what do we use for winding around the base and how do we do it? This one we'll leave as is, it's already good. For the other ones, there are several options: lace, ribbons, threads, ropes, any decorative elements that will help cover the ugly part of the base. For my cardboard ring, I will use this kind of rope. I make a little loop at the end. We will later use it to hang our Dreamcatcher by. Now attach the thread at any spot of the base. Now, in this uncomplicated way, throwing the thread over from time to time, wind it around the ring. Every next loop should tightly fit to the previous one. So I've come back to where I started. I tie a knot and cut off the excessive thread, and this version is ready. For the next option, unwind a lot of thread and fold it in half. On this end, we again make a loop for hanging. And starting from the other end, make a little ball. That will make it easier. And place the thread like this. Run the ball around the base and pull it through in between the threads. This way you have fixed the thread onto the base. Now we're going to repeat the same move. Place the thread like that over the base and pull the ball through the loop. Tighten it and move it closer to the previous loop. Keep doing this until you've done all the base. Along the perimeter, you should get an edge of knots like this. Keep going. I've run out of thread, so I run it through the last loop a few times and thus fix it in place. Attach the new thread to the base the same way as we did in the beginning. I keep winding and winding and winding until I'm done and I tie a knot. Ready. For the wooden base, I'm going to use some lace. It used to be snow white, but I've dyed it in strong black tea. After the dyeing, you need to rinse it and let it dry. So let's wind the lace around the base, overlapping a bit. The lace will be twisting in the process, so you'll have to untwist it back. Once we're done, we cut off the end and fix it with a drop of glue. And that's what I've got. Now we're going to weave the Dreamcatcher itself. You can use moulinet or any other natural thread, better cotton. Just make sure it doesn't stretch. I attach my new thread to the base. Now we need to calculate the step. To do this, measure the circumference and divide it by the desired number of tops plus 1/2. Here, for example, I have 47 centimeters and I want to have 5 tops, so I divide 47 by 5.5. I get 8.5 centimeters, and that will be my distance between the tops. For your convenience, you can make little marks on the base. In this case, I will be weaving with the help of a little ball. Place the thread on the base like this and pull the ball through the loop. We're going to repeat this move in the course of the entire weaving process. If you plan to add beads, string them onto the thread before attaching it to the base. Tighten the thread, but not too much. Hold the first one steady with the other hand. If you've done it right, here you should have the space that equals the half of this one. Now we're going to weave around the edges we've just made, repeating exactly the same move. Moving on to the next level, and keep going until the very center. And I'll show you one more way to weave with the help of a needle. I took a large needle with a large eye and pulled a long thread through it. In this Dreamcatcher, I want a shorter step and 9 stops. For this, I divide the circumference of 68 centimeters by 9.5. Making the marks, and keep weaving the same way as in the previous case. Run the thread around the base at the top and pull it through the loop. Move the thread to where it should be and tighten. More quickly, this move looks like this. Just run the needle around the base and pull it out on the right of the thread. Look once again. Run around and adjust. Complete the whole first row in this way, and then keep repeating exactly the same move, weaving by the thread. Weaving with a needle is very convenient. If you want to add a bead, just string it on the needle and keep weaving. I'm out of the thread. Next step, I tie it and add a new one. I advise you to fix all the knots with a tiny drop of transparent glue, just in case. As we're moving closer to the center, the holes are becoming smaller and smaller. Here I've decided to stop. I tie a knot. Here you can cut the thread and leave a hole in the center. I've decided to add my last bead here. And another knot. fix all the knots with a drop of glue. And the last part of creating a Dreamcatcher is the decoration. The easiest way is to attach a few threads at the bottom and decorate them with feathers or beads. To make sure the beads stay in place and don't travel along the rope, I fix them with the help of my glue gun. And use it again to attach the feathers. If you don't have a glue gun at hand, tie the feathers and fix the beads with knots. For this Dreamcatcher, I've made these tassels from the same thread and added a few beads. If you want to know how to make these things, check out my masterclass about tassel earrings. I'll leave a link to it as well as the pom-poms masterclass in the description below and in the suggestions above. This one I've decided to decorate in rustic style with copper elements, rope and lace. If you want to know how to make a moon Dreamcatcher, let me know in the comments. Subscribe to my channel and stay in touch. See you in my next videos.